Welcome to Always On Wire. Today, we're talking about Anthony Loke's firm stand on mandatory child restraint systems, CRS.
Right, and it's definitely a hot topic. You've got this huge public backlash, really quite fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the Minister of Transport, Anthony Loke, he's not budging an inch on needing these child safety seats.
That's exactly what we want to dig into.
Mm.
Why? Why face down all that criticism, that public anger?
There must be something driving it.
Yeah, what's the core reason he's so determined, even taking the political heat directly? Let's try and unpack that.
Well, it seems like it goes beyond just politics for him. It's rooted in safety data, but maybe let's start with how he actually responded to all this criticism first.
Okay, yeah, because his reaction wasn't exactly low-key. Things got heated after that recent, very sad incident. He didn't back down.
No, not at all. He basically stepped up and said, aim it at me.
He really did.
He was incredibly clear about being ready to absorb the anger. He actually said, as a minister, we will be criticized no matter what we do.
Right.
That's okay. I can endure it. If everyone wants to scold me, I can accept that too. I mean, that's quite a thing for a politician to say so openly.
It is. On one level, it sounds noble, like taking one for the team. But couldn't that backfire?
It's a high-wire act, politically speaking. But notice how quickly he pivoted back.
Yeah.
He basically said, okay, you can be angry at me, you can complain about the cost, the inconvenience.
Fine. Direct it here.
But don't forget the main point. His message was pretty much, criticize me all you want, but please, if there's a child in the car, use the CRS. That's the bottom line.
So it's duty over popularity then.
Yeah.
He sees his job, being the transport minister, as requiring him to be that persistent voice, maybe even the annoying voice, reminding people about safety.
Exactly. It's less about political games and more about, well, the hard facts.
And the science behind it.
The science, absolutely. When we talk about these child restraint systems, it's not just red tape, it's physics. It's about what happens in a crash.
Right.
And the global data is just overwhelming. For babies, infants, using a proper CRS cuts the risk of fatal injury by, over 70%.
70%, that's huge.
It is, and Anthony Loke knows that number. So complaints about cost or hassle, while maybe valid in themselves, become secondary when you weigh them against potentially saving a child's life. He's standing on that data, solid ground, scientifically speaking.
Which tragically brings us to the incident that really threw fuel on this fire just last week. Made it all very real, didn't it?
Yeah. Just 5 days before he made these recent strong statements, there was that terrible crash, the one at the Bukit Kajang toll plaza in Selangor.
Awful. A 1-year-old baby boy died.
Heartbreaking. And the initial findings from the investigation, they pointed directly back to this whole debate.
How so?
The baby wasn't in a child restraint system, not secured at the time of the impact.
So that's the link.
That's the direct, unavoidable link. That fact that the policy is designed specifically to prevent exactly this kind of tragic outcome, that's almost certainly why Anthony Loke felt he had to say what he said next.
Which was the controversial part.
The very controversial part. He basically suggested, quite directly, that the tragedy, the baby being ejected from the car, might have been avoided if a CRS had been used.
Okay, and that's what caused the uproar. People felt it was too soon. Insensitive.
A bit of both, I think. The criticism wasn't necessarily denying the fact that a CRS might have helped. It was the timing, the perceived insensitivity of linking the policy so starkly, so quickly, to a family's grief.
It felt blunt. Maybe deliberately so.
You could see it that way. It was definitely a high-risk move, communication-wise. But maybe it shows a level of, desperation. Here's a minister trying to push a life-saving rule that people have resisted for years.
So he used the harsh reality of that accident as, like, the ultimate argument.
Pretty much. As if to say, see, this is why we need this. For him, it seems the urgency to hammer the point home outweighed the political fallout of appearing insensitive right then.
Okay, let's step back a bit. To understand the backlash fully, we need to talk about the actual CRS rules. What are they asking people to do, and why is it proving so difficult for so many?
Right, the practical side. So the rule applies to kids under 12 or below 36 kilograms, whichever comes first, basically.
And the problems.
Well, first off, cost. It's a big one. These approved seats, the ones that meet safety standards, they aren't cheap. We're talking several hundred ringgit easily.
For one seat.
For one seat. Imagine a family with 2 or 3 young kids, or families already struggling financially. It's a major expense suddenly thrust upon them.
So the anger isn't just random grumbling. It's tied to real financial pressure. People feel like they're being asked to choose between safety and, well, affording other essentials.
Exactly. And then there's the logistics.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah. Cars aren't getting bigger.
Right. Try fitting 2, maybe 3 bulky approved CRS seats into a standard Malaysian car, like a Myvi or something. It can be incredibly difficult, sometimes impossible, especially with older kids needing boosters, too.
So it's cost and practicality. People are being told they need something expensive that might not even fit properly in their car.
That's the core of the resistance, I think. That combination just created this perfect storm of frustration, and Anthony Loke is standing right in the middle of it.
So if enforcement is so tough, and the pushback is about cost and space, why isn't the Ministry of Transport just hitting people with massive fines, trying to force compliance?
Well, that seems to be the interesting shift now. It looks like they recognize that just handing out fines isn't going to work here. Not in the long run.
Why not?
Because it doesn't solve the root problems, does it? Finding people who genuinely can't afford a seat or can't fit one in their car just builds resentment. It doesn't magically make the seats cheaper or cars bigger.
So it could actually make things worse politically and maybe even safety-wise if people try unsafe workarounds.
Potentially. So Anthony Loke seems to be signaling a pivot. Less focus on just punishing noncompliance.
And more on.
More on awareness, education, trying to win people over, essentially.
Okay, so what does that look like? More campaigns? Workshops?
That's what's suggested. The Ministry of Transport plans to ramp up efforts to really explain why CRS is so vital. Targeting parents, guardians, maybe working with community groups, health clinics.
Trying to get the message out locally?
Exactly. Showing people how to install them correctly, maybe highlighting any subsidy programs if they exist or can be created. The idea is to tackle the lack of understanding or maybe the underestimation of the risk.
It's kind of an admission, isn't it, that just making a law isn't enough. You have to bring people along with you, especially when it costs the money and effort.
Absolutely. They're betting that if people truly understand the physics, the stats, like how a normal seatbelt can actually harm a small child in a crash, maybe that knowledge will be more persuasive than the threat of a fine.
It's a long game strategy then, focusing on changing the safety culture over time.
Yes, because you can't really force this kind of change effectively when there's such strong resistance linked to genuine economic hardship. The goal seems to be build the understanding, change the behavior through knowledge, and hopefully find ways to ease the financial burden, too.
So, wrapping this up for everyone listening, what's the main thing to take away here?
I think it's that Anthony Loke, faced with intense political heat and a really tragic event, is choosing to prioritize child safety based on hard data over popular opinion or maybe an easier political route.
He's willing to be unpopular to push this specific safety message.
He's taking the flak, yes, trying to make sure the why cuts through all the noise about cost and convenience.
Which leads to a bigger question, maybe.
I think so. A question for you, the listener, to really think about is this. Can these awareness campaigns, this push for education, truly work on their own?
Without something more.
Without substantial government help to tackle those real barriers, we're talking significant, easy-to-access subsidies, maybe tax breaks for buying approved CRS seats, things that directly address the cost and maybe even logistical issues that are fueling so much of this resistance. Can awareness alone overcome hundreds of ringgit in cost for a struggling family?
That's a tough one. Policy, politics, personal finances all wrapped up together.
Indeed it is.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.